Bite Back TV.
I'm Joel from the Last Kinection, and you're watching Bite Back TV. Bite Back the Black Dog. We're a rap group. We've been around for a few years. The female in the group is my little sister. She used to be one half of pop sensation Shakaya as well. Big Doris. I always just throw it in there because she hates me saying it.
Yeah.
And, you know, because that's what big brothers do. The reason we got together, our group's called Last Kinection because it was pretty much for our grandma, or our nan, was the last elder of our clan, and she passed away like 2 years ago. And so we kind of named it after her. It's about knowledge passing down. Because as Aboriginal fellas, you learn by passing down knowledge and what you've learnt to your kids and grandkids in any art way or form, and so we use music to do that.
What do stories mean to you?
Stories.
And are they, you know, something really important and meaningful to you?
Yeah, I guess everyone's got mad stories, you know. Whether or not it changes and you make stuff up just to make it sound better is another thing. But you know, music for me is like a therapy kind of thing where you get to express how you feel and a story. You tell a story, whether it's through your feelings or whether it's actually you're telling a narrative kind of story, or it's just a recount from your own perspective of issues that happen. So all my lyrics are all based around stories. It's not just a phonetical kind of language. Throw it all, see what good words I know, because I still don't understand most of the English language, and I don't think anyone ever will. But I think, yeah, but sharing stories for me is a good way of not just expressing yourself, but you know, just getting it out there. And when we had a big car accident, I remember I spoke to a psychologist about it, because I was driving and a car pulled out on us, and we were on the freeway, and then our car lost control and went through a armoured guardrail, and so the guardrail went through the car, like pierced like a spear through the car behind me, through to the front where Niang was sitting, hit her, and I was just having nightmares and just would start crying for no reason just by seeing those images. And I rang up this guy who was, our old man's a doctor, so he's got lots of friends everywhere, and there's a trauma specialist, and I rang him up and just said, oh, look, you know, what's the best approach to deal with this? He said, just tell as many people as you can, because the more you get it out, the less it stays in, kind of thing. And he said, it'll always be there, you'll always have those feelings, you'll always have that image every now and then, but the more you get it out, the less it stays in. So. And it worked, yeah. Yep. It fully worked. It's fully worked. Like, where I grew up in Cairns, and I moved to Newcastle when I was going on to high school. And Newcastle hadn't really adapted to black people at all, you know, any coloured skinned people. And I remember the first day of high school had a big run-in with one of the teachers who kind of went off at me and gave me all sorts of crap and all sorts of grief. And then as I was growing up, you know, just hassled out by the police, getting strip searched in town when I was like 13 with all my white friends, and they wouldn't bother with them, and always being targeted out, and for me that it sucked, and you know but you get to that point where you can either, you know, be what they're treating you like, or you can be better than them and take their jobs, was my kind of thing. So I don't steal their cars, I don't steal their money, I steal their jobs, was my kind of saying throughout life. And so I you know, I do heaps of different things now, but I guess on my journey towards happiness, and this year I've kind of gotten to that stage where I'm really happy with kind of what I've achieved throughout my life and things. You know, I get to perform at so many different places.
Yeah. That you've just touched on one of the things I was going to ask you. What are 3 things you're grateful for? You just mentioned performing.
Yeah. Performing,
meeting other
definitely.
artists.
Yeah. My wife and my kids. It's like for Aboriginal fellas, family is so important, and there's never ever a thing with, you know, you never really say thank you because it's something that you always give back. So, you know, your fridge is always open. You always, if someone needs something, you always give it, because when you're down and having a bad time, they'll always come around and help you out. And so that's just how it works. There's no, yeah. So that's a good thing that we really have. And, yeah. I think one of the things that I learnt from my nan, especially, is forgiveness is probably the number one lesson that anyone should really learn. And it's because, you know, when people do the wrong thing by you, most of the time they don't even know or they don't even care, and you hold that grudge with you for so long, and then when you talk about it with someone or whatever, they don't even know they actually did it, or they don't even remember they did it, and so you've kind of carried this big lot of baggage along with you throughout life. It's kind of, and it brings you down, having those sort of things. And I've found that it to be true, and you don't question nan when you're a kid, and forgive people, and you don't do it for them, you do it for yourself, and that's the number one thing. And then it makes life a lot easier for you if you do that.
Bite Back TV.